Hello, my name's Bob Sanderson and I'd like to welcome you to this edition of True to I. Now, if you've seen the show before, you know that we cover many varied business issues, but the main purpose of the programme is to help people transcend from what they do to becoming who they really are. I'm very excited today to have a gentleman sitting on the sofa here with me who is in the process of doing just that. And what is he really? Well, I'd like to introduce you to David Maddock, who is a psychic medium. Hello, David.
Hello.
And yeah, what a fascinating thing that you do. Briefly, when did this all come about? When did you realise you had psychic powers?
From the age of 16.
Okay.
I went. My mum finally allowed me to go to a psychic fair with her, which I was always compelled and drawn to going. And the lady there says to me, you know, you're highly gifted. You're going to help a lot of people, and I think at that age, you kind of take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, you would.
And then about 6 months to 12 months later, I saw another lady who said the same thing, a different lady, who said the exact same things and the same card again, an angel card. And then about 6 months, 12 months again later from this, I saw another lady and she said the same. And I went back to my mum, I said there's got to be something there. And my mum did this small technique because my mum used to have tarot cards, only for herself, not for the public. It was just for her and her close friends. And she used to try and learn to read them. And I ended up telling my mum things I just possibly couldn't have known. And I had this sudden rush of this feeling of like, well, wow, as if I'd just opened a floodgate of, and then from there I've just pursued my career and realised.
Now, I do know that, I mean, the past couple of years you've been doing live shows and you've been doing live readings and sort of performance events to audiences, or anything up to 200 people. But they've been at a relatively, should we say, a modest level. Some of them have been in pubs, bingo halls, this sort of thing. But this year's been very special for you, hasn't it? Yeah. Things have leapt ahead.
Yeah, you could say that.
Because I know that, I mean, in fairness, I've been working with you for, since April?
Yeah, that's right.
And we
changed my life.
we managed to get you some really top-notch venues, haven't we? We've been doing some really first-class hotels. Yeah. But I know we set about, we made a television pilot, and the view was to see if we could get that pilot on television. Yeah. Tell me what happened after that.
Well, where do I start? You know, we got the pilot and we sent that out, as you know, and you know, we had some great feedback, and then it just opened up more doors for, you know, they saw potential, so they decided to use me in a different show.
I think the truth is we had a pitch meeting, didn't we? With the
Oh,
television company. We had a
that's
pitch meeting, and my expectation was that was going to be about 20 minutes. You know, it was the guy we saw was quite high up in the organisation, and I thought it was going to be a 20 minutes pitch meeting. 2 hours later, 2 hours later, everybody is loving David Maddock, and they're going, "We're going to use you." Yeah. And as you so rightly say, they got you onto a very unusual television programme. Tell us about it.
Oh, what an experience. Yeah, so as you say, you know, we're at 20 minutes is that, you know, the most we expected, you know, he's there for like 2 hours plus even, and just great. And with this main producer, executive of this channel, and he kind of just says, you know, we've got this idea where contestants are going to be in a nightclub, and we want you to feel, are they playing a game? Are the feelings genuine? What do you pick up on your psychic abilities? Because when I do live events, I get a pull to certain areas and a feeling of where I should be. So using that method, he wanted me to feel, do I feel that they're pulled together?
Because it was a dating show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It was a dating show. And and I actually, from the very start, which I don't think ever got aired, I actually said who the winner would be.
Right at the beginning.
At the very beginning. Yeah. And I hadn't seen no other contestants. All I'd seen was pictures, and I actually said, that's the person. Yeah.
And 5 weeks later, who won it?
Jordan,
which was the very person that you said.
I got it down in my notebook saying this will be the, you know, and throughout the process of it was like, no, they're coming on strong this, and I was like, no,
because you were one of 3 presenters on the show, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, it turned out that you know, not just being on the show, what I expected was to turn up, get a feel for the people, you know, and I'd just be a bit of a background setup. I thought that's the part I was going to play, but ended up being that I ended up presenting and doing interviews with the contestants, and I was really thrown in, and I loved every minute. I think I was on set for 12 to 14 hours every day. Yeah, just thrived off it.
So you started off, you were doing pubs, you were doing bingo halls, you then got into first class hotel venues. You've been on a TV show now as one of the major presenters on this TV show. Now I know that a certain person at this television station is now considering taking you under their wing to manage your career, with maybe the potential of all sorts. We won't go too deeply into it, but all sorts, live events and maybe more television. Also, you've got a potential opportunity to go overseas. Where's that?
Australia. Yes. It's just, everything's just come at once, and I think that it just comes down to having that belief system in yourself, and you know, if you've got a goal, I don't allow distractions to, whether it be people or the mind itself is a powerful tool, and you know, everybody gets them doubts, that's impossible, this isn't. And now, even my mum and dad, when I first used to go to my mum and dad and tell them things of where I'm going to be, they used to say, oh, come on, Dave, that's a bit ambitious, you know. And now they're kind of like, when I walk in now, and I'm like, you know, I still plan on buying you a house, you know, as a thank you for everything you've done over the years. And they're like, Dave, we actually believe you, you know. And my mum just said, I'm just worried where you're going to buy the house.
Now, I know you're not a rash young man.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, you've got a decent job at the moment, which you're not planning to throw away tomorrow, you know, you can understand that. You're looking at this as a long-term transition. Yeah. How does it feel? What sort of worries and concerns have you had about doing it? Because this show is about people making that transition into the things that they love and they want to do. I'm sure you must have had some fears and also some excitement. So how's it come across to you?
Oh, well, as you say, I haven't made the move yet, and I think the biggest concern for everybody is money.
Of course,
you know, the finance side of things, you know, how can I survive, and one thing and another. But,
I know what we did, because I know we sat down together, didn't we?
Yeah.
And to be fair, and I think you'll be the first to admit, you were going at this from a business perspective. You were doing this a bit random.
Well, I didn't have that business concept at all, you know, and it was like, right, I'll do a reading over here, I'm going to do a live show here, and then this, and everything was jumbled up, and you don't realise at the time, when you're actually starting off doing a business, how important the business plan is.
And I think that's what we need to talk about, because I mean, I've had a business background. I'm also an entertainer. I've been an entertainer since I was 15, but I've also worked at major level business, and what became very apparent to me later on in my life was the fact you've got to have a business plan. Now with yourself, and I've done it similar to myself, I think what we did was we looked at the various aspects that you had where you could make an income. You know, some of it was live performances, some of it was potentially book writing, which is exciting. You're a qualified meditation teacher as well, aren't you? So we looked at all these avenues, and each one of these forms a finger of your portfolio. And I think what we then did, we laid out what the potential income was from all of this potential income. And that was your potential earnings for 12 months. And then we said, right, what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and tactics? The good old SWOT analysis, right? And we looked at the weak points, we looked at the strong points, and that's where you start to put the effort in. You start to put the effort in to actually boost the weak points and to work. Did it work for you? That's important.
Yeah, massively. Even now, I mean, even when I think about things, you just see things in a different way, as a more of a, instead of being like off the cuff and a bit jumbled up with where you've got to be, you've just got more focus on, okay, what's this going to present to me, and what's this revenue? You know, as I said earlier, the biggest thing is money, finances, when you want to change career, and now you look at things in a different light, because you look at them and think, well, okay, then this is a great opportunity, but is the revenue there? Is it credit? You know, is it what I need, or is it just going to be one of them things that's not going to be worth my time and bring me the finances that I need to proceed and progress in my career.
I mean, I know you well enough now to know that money isn't the main driver, because you genuinely believe in what you do, and your main driver is the fact that you help people, and that's important. Yeah. But as you say, you've got to live.
Yes,
and you can't help people if you're working 9 to 5 every day, because it's a very stressful and physically tiring job that you've got. Can
I just add, sorry to cut you off, but I just want to add on to that a lot of people who may be watching this and think that this work, you shouldn't charge. It's a service from above or whatever that they vote to. And the one of the reasons why I decided to start charging in the earlier years, when I first realised and I could do this, was when you don't charge, you tend to get the people who are not interested in what you do. They're just there to either mock you, they've got no interest whatsoever, but they're just there like, oh, it's a freebie, I'll go.
It becomes a fairground attraction.
Yeah, and then you lose that credibility of why you're doing it. So you charge because when people are paying for something, then they want something in return, and that was the main reason for me charging from the start, because I just had so many people come in who you just knew there wasn't interested, and then it has a knock-on effect, because then if somebody leaves and that they're kind of like not interested, so they've knocked you, then your confidence is knocked, then you walk away from it thinking, oh, have I done a good job, and you have all these doubts, and it just got to the stage where I was like, right, I've got to,
No, I can understand it. I can understand it.
Yeah, I just want people to know so that they understand.
No, as I say, we've known each other now for nearly a year, and I've seen your shows, and I know you as a person, and you are very genuine and do want to help people. Yeah. So the interesting thing is, and I always talk to people about pushing the envelope. It's a term I use a lot, and that as you start off doing one thing. Yeah. And then you push, and you find, oh, I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know. And all the time you're pushing outwards, and you're taking on more things that you'd never dreamed you could do. Yeah. Now you've done the TV show, do you see potential to be a TV presenter?
Yeah, I think I really do.
It's there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the potential's there for anything, and I think as I've got the drive, ambition, and as you say, once you open one door, another, and then you start thinking, oh, actually, I felt comfortable in that scenario doing that. So,
You mentioned revenue earlier on, and that's interesting, because I think with any business, income is one thing, but revenue is different, as you know. This is money, hopefully, you're making while you're asleep. Yeah. This is stuff that comes in. And I've always been a performer, so consequently a lot of the things I've done have always been performance based, and the money has come in from those performances. And I've always lacked a little bit on the revenue side. Yeah. Now I've started writing books. Not that they're making a lot of money at the moment, please buy the play counter. But I do get these occasional sort of checks from Amazon, and my wife and I, we go out and we buy a cup of coffee with the results, because that's about all we can get with a royalty check from it. But it's a nice feeling to say, do you know what? I've got money trickling in from things that I'm not working on at this point of time. Yeah. And I think, as you and I have discussed, you've got that benefit with what you do, in terms of there's potential in the future to do meditation DVDs and all these sort of things that will be revenue for you. Yeah. I'm saying this for the benefit of people that are saying, I've got this business, how can I start doing stuff? Yeah. But this is what the business plan has done for you, isn't it? It's outlined all these things. Yeah. And I think ultimately you'd like to write a book yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just going back onto what you were saying about when you've got your business plan in place, you tend to find that you'll look at things in a deeper level. So instead of just being, a book, for example, or a DVD, then instead of just being, I want to create a DVD, I want to write a book, you'll all of a sudden come up with ideas for a book, and then you'll think, well, actually, I've got the potential of 2 books. Yeah. And then so then your 1 book's turned into 2 books, your DVD for meditation, and then you think, well, actually, I could do a development to help people, or people who suffer anxiety, stress, because I don't want everything I do to just be about people who believe in mediumship. And then all of a sudden you know you've got 3 or 4 potential DVDs, and you know, your live events, you put, you know, me performing, but then you know, how can I better my live events, and you just look at things in finer detail, because you want everybody to come to your shows and you know, have a good time. So when you've got a business plan and the outlines there, you then expand, and then you realise, actually, I've got a lot more potential here than what I first thought.
That's brilliant. Now, for details of your live shows, people can find that on your website, which is
connectwithdavid.co.uk.
Okie dokie. So we get people to have a look at your website, and I know you've got an event coming up shortly.
Yeah, that's right.
We're currently filming this at the end of November in 2017.
Yeah.
And obviously 2018, I've got a feeling it's going to be your year, because you've got a lot of things going on. I know that. And I know it's not right to talk about them at this stage, but I think the world's going to be seeing a lot of David Maddock. I know Australia will.
Yes. Well, that just started out small talk from doing a Facebook Live with yourself.
Met a nice lady, didn't we, online? A nice lady
yeah.
who's got her own TV show in Australia, and she's talking about planning possibly a little tour for you with a little bit of TV work, which is great. I mean, it's you know, you're connecting with people. Connecting with people all over the world, which is really good. David, that's fabulous. I mean, I think, you know, what this is proving with David is that if you've got a passion, if you've got a desire, you're fed up with the day job. Okay, you can't quit it tomorrow. It might take a year, it might take 2 years, but it gives you something to work towards, to eventually, you know, when the time is right, and you can actually, it's not about what you do, it's who you are. And I think David is getting to a stage now where you're becoming who you are. You're having that freedom and flexibility to go out and do that. And what a great way to live your life. David Maddock, thank you ever so much for sitting here and talking to me on True to I. I wish you all the best, and you know, I know it's going to be a great year for you. And you're a psychic, you know it's going to be a great year for you, don't you? Thank you all for watching on True to I. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.